Hello, everyone. Welcome to Royal Revelation. It is Friday, March 14th, and Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot and I will be making predictions and focusing today on world headlines, the UK, and the royal family. It's Papa's big day, don't you know? But first, there's a big issue, and Amber and I will be discussing that. If you are a subscriber, come on in and tell us where you're from. We'd love to know. And if you're new here to the show, we show you how to make your own predictions and how to review your own solar return chart. And that reveals your monthly forecast. This is for members making a romance prediction. And that was a live stream I did. I focused on the solar returns of some celebrities. And also we looked at the blue origin prediction. Can they go to space? Will it be safe? Is it good for them? And also check out my valedictorians eclipse special. You probably saw it in the post. If you are a member, you'll see the link there. So just click it. And that's a personal reading, a 6-month prediction. Everybody's dying to know what's going to happen because we've got a total lunar eclipse today. This is a big day, big 6 months for a lot of us. And check out my books on Amazon, The Secret Career Code, How to Review a Job Chart. Hey, Amber.
Hi.
Well, we've got a lot of questions for you, and we are, how are things so far?
Good.
Good.
There-
Okay. It's cold.
It's cold here. Yes. Rain and wind.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at a chart right now for Charles. This is his full moon calendar. And you can see May 12th, he's got a full moon right over his sun in Scorpio. And this is right on the 5th house. Say the sun is, where you get your vitality, where you get your power from. And that's hitting his 5th house. We're going to see a lot of things maybe come to light for him. Sometimes when this happens to you, it can be really good because you can see, okay, that's that. Now I understand why that person did that. Everything gets some clarity. So I was wondering if you could ask a question for May 12th or around with a full moon on King Charles's sun. What is it going to mean for him?
I did get my first house card, so it's funny you say that. And that's the identity house, right?
Okay, yes.
Let's see. 7 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, and the Tower. This feels like some kind of visit from somebody from overseas, or is he going to travel in May around that date? That it feels like there could be travel and this is the Transformation card. So certainly something with identity changing a little bit. And the first thing I thought of with regard to change was like in small details. There's something about the details, like this Virgo card. So it makes me wonder about something small changing for him, maybe in a connection with a world leader.
Maybe. There's a lot of news going on that has to do with kind of the green type of efforts and projects that he's doing. So with that card, which card was it?
7 of Pentacles.
The 7.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be something organic. He really wanted to do something, but he's just about to launch this thing. Could it mean that he's got to put it aside because something else is pretty big that he's got to deal with?
It could be. And funny, this is showing some transportation, cars, electric cars, smart cars, smart tech.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech happening in the next 2 months with Prince William and King Charles. Yeah. Prince William is going to be visiting the smart city of Europe. So we're going to get into that in a second. Yeah. And then we've got some omens, we've got some signs coming up, and then we're going to show everyone how to read certain parts of their chart. So hello, Darlene. And let's get to that now. Okay. It's the wild, untamed animal of Black Moon Lilith. And I thought it would be very interesting for us to look and see at where it is placed in a couple of royals' charts. Now, this is that kind of energy you and I talk about a lot, where it can be temptation. You're like, oh yeah, sign me up. And then it just, the path towards it causes chaos. It causes a lot of drama if it's not placed very well.
Right.
Okay, so we call it the wild animal. That there is like, that's a dancer, somebody who is tempting, hot and tempting.
Yeah.
And it could be a person, it could be a thing. Like for instance, King Charles. He has his Black Moon Lilith on his 9th house of marriage cusp in Pisces, which represents a fairy tale. And it's all tied back to his family who want to project that he is about to begin this fairy tale marriage. So that was very tempting for him. That, like this girl up here, she's very, simple, virginal, all of that stuff. Now for Sarah Ferguson, Duchess Sarah Ferguson, she has her Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house of partners, and it's in a T square. So it would be very, very tempting to go with this person, but it was going to probably cause a lot of, it's a big roller coaster in a T square. And also, and here I put the prince up here. So it could be a prince, it could be, somebody who is a partner of some sort. Or it could be like it was in Princess Diana's chart, the 8th house. And that was in a T square, that her Black Moon Lilith. It was, the 8th house is somebody else's castles because her Black Moon Lilith was in Leo in the 8th house. So can mean, a lot of 8th house types of things, but again, in that T square. So if you are interested in that, make sure to clip this part of the video, send it to a friend and ask your friend where her or his Black Moon Lilith is. Okay, so for Prince Andrew's birth chart, we can see that his Black Moon Lilith is in the 11th house of friends. There's a friend up there. That would be Jeffrey Epstein. And there you go. What's so interesting is that what would Jeffrey Epstein do? He would, when Andrew needed it, he would wire Uranus. He would wire funds. What, like the gold, not the gold, but money. It would be back and forth types of, and he wanted a piece of royalty. He wanted to be part of Prince Andrew's identity, which unfortunately for Prince Andrew, he was. But check out the aspect of when you get this square to Mercury and Pisces or Mercury and Neptune, it can show that the person doesn't have boundaries with young people, or really badly it means having basically a pedophile. So he's got a pedophile in his chart. And then we've got King Charles, and just like I was saying, you could see right on the 9th house of the fairy tale marriage, the fantasy. And you can see how there's a blue line here to the 4th house. And well, Mercury is the 3rd house lord for him, so it could be maybe somebody local. But also the 4th house. The 4th house is his mother. So his mom might have pushed him. All right, so now I've got a ton of omens and symbols. I'm going to try to get through them fast. Have you been seeing any omens?
I am, now that you have shared your slide deck, because I don't always pull oracle cards, and the one that I did has this wolf. So as soon as you said something, because I was getting sort of Alaska wild wolves, and you said wild animal, Black Moon Lilith, and this big full moon with that full moon chart. It's interesting.
Wow. And yes, the wolf is Leo, and Lopez, like Jennifer Lopez, a Leo, it means the wolf, the white wolf. So just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay. Now, let me see here. All right, we've got a lot of people in red in the past week. It's kind of been happening a lot. We saw that portrait, the painting of King Charles a few months ago. Last time, I think we were talking about the red artwork from the royal kids. I think it was Louis.
Yeah.
And this is the Commonwealth ceremonies, I think, that were happening. Everybody's pretty happy about that. Lots of nice photos for the royals. So they made sure to have a united showing. But there is Princess Catherine. I thought they looked fabulous. Yet she's wearing red, the color of war. There is Charles there with Trudeau. Kind of caused a little trouble there, reportedly with Trump, because he met with him and Zelensky. So that was a little scuffle behind the scenes, possibly. And here is a very interesting omen too, with King Charles walking through. He was awarding or talking to young leaders, and it's called Water Aid. It's a charity. So he talks about climate reception, water and climate reception, but there are some Saturnian themes here in this photo. And so certainly looks like maybe some things are headed his way, but so crazy about water. And then this, I think it was just yesterday, or was it today, that there's an oil tanker. Was it that sunk? We're dealing with oil here, these oil themes. So very Neptunian, very Piscean, and that can show a lot of things, including things kind of disappear. Here's Gal Gadot and is it Rachel Zegler? They are promoting Snow White, and here is a big one. Wearing red, and they both apparently behind the scenes are on either side of the Gaza issue. And so Gal is an Israeli, and her name actually means waterfall, watershed, something, water themes, the whole name, both the first and the last name. So more Piscean, and also I think this could be an omen for war. And then don't forget that red car, that red Tesla in front of the White House. And everybody's talking about it. We also have this is a 4.2, but we had an earthquake in the past. No, I guess this was 2 days ago, but they're still reporting it. So that could be something that has to do with Italy. And we had, because Gemini is Italians, but we also have Versace. She's stepping down. The creative director, Donatella. And what's so interesting is all these 90s references. Oh my God. We've got basically Ben and Jen back together, then they're divorced, or then they're split up like they were in the 90s. And then there's Ben Affleck is seen cavorting on the photos with first wife, back and forth. Then there's the puffy. I mean, you could think of like 190s references right now. P. Diddy, and now Donatella, who was very, very big. They're actually remembering Johnny Versace right now. What else also happened in the 90s was we lost Princess Diana too. And oh my God, I could probably think of a dozen other things. So something to keep in mind. We've got some 90s themes that are repeating. And how about this? The Ukrainians and others around the world are kind of mocking Putin because they think that he didn't really go to the front lines. It's his body double. And I would say his body double looks pretty good. So another twin type of thing. There is supposedly Putin. I think it looks pretty close. I don't know.
There's something.
Yeah. And then also you got, the guy behind him in the same outfit or in the same uniform. So, all right. So real quick, I'm going to look at Canada's transit chart. And this is what they're going through right now. The tariffs are 8th house. And I'm going to circle this. Did you know a lot of people, I would say maybe more than 50% of our audience looks at our charts on their phone, which isn't a surprise. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm trying to point to something. But the eighth house is the tariffs in the Canadian chart. And of course, we have Mars going through. So everybody's pissed. And Mars, thankfully, moves on pretty fast. So we won't be, I don't think we're going to be seeing that too much until Neptune starts creeping in there. But we'll talk about that at a later date. But Uranus here, Uranus is to break off. It is upsets. So you could see how Canada would be, there'd be quite some unsettling things that are happening. Let me see here.
Does it show if they will or will not cut the power to the U.S. where they have
it's so funny
to do so?
Yeah, it's so funny you say that because Uranus is the power. That's their power in a sense.
Yeah.
And it certainly seems as if they've got a trick up their sleeve. And let me see. Yeah, Black Moon Lilith is going to come in. This is the trick up the sleeve. And that's going to start maybe within it. It's going to be a little while, but they've got that up their sleeve. They could cut the power. They certainly could. And it's going to hurt them if they do, because it'll affect their fourth house where, people's livelihoods, their home, the word is home for the fourth. So home goods. So, but I do think that it's not as bad as you think. I think it's going to move on within the next 6 months. Maybe the powers that be, the world leaders, they're going to be focused on something else, which I think they are. And my question for you is, I'm seeing a war coming, and in the short term, can you give us some kind of, I would say, timeline here? Is it going to be short term?
Whew, that's Seven of Pentacles again. You can really view this from a timing perspective in terms of weeks. 7 weeks, is that into May?
The very first couple of days of May, right after retrograde. Usually the chaos is during the retrograde. So yeah, maybe they're just trying to go back and forth, and then finally. And you don't like to kick off things necessarily during May. We'll see how it goes. Hey, Linda, great to see you. Soda Pop. I know, I'm with you. God bless the 90s. Remember those CDs we used to have?
Glad Billboard hits or something? Or
yeah. It was the 90s something and something. I'm going to look it up because it's important. Vicky says, hello from Columbus, Ohio. Was your sweatshirt for Ohio or Texas? It was actually Ohio. I love Ohio. Prince William is planning. He's planning on going to Tallinn. And I don't know if anybody has gone to Tallinn, but I was there for a little while. I think it's the most medieval city. It's the oldest city maybe in Eastern Europe, is it? It is so gorgeous, so quaint, all the little churches. And it's actually, I did not know this, Tallinn is considered the Silicon Valley of Europe. So of course, Prince William, because he's very tech-minded and Aquarian in a sense, he wants to go over there. Maybe there's an official reason he wants to go, but he also wants to observe, I think. Now, the church in Tallinn was at one point, I think in medieval times, one of the highest, I think the highest building or highest church, one of the two. So it's unbelievable that it's still standing. So I kind of don't like Tallinn having a spotlight on it right now. But I was wondering what you thought about this visit to Tallinn.
When is this coming? Do we know?
I think it's in the next few weeks.
Coming soon. Okay. What do I say? Whoa! I don't know if he has any financial interest. This is sort of someone holding the purse strings, having control and power over something financial. But this is like an obsession. This is his thing. He's like obsessed with it. So we may see, and this is definitely like holding on to things very tightly. It's a little bit of an obsessive quality.
That devil, it's temptation.
But it's somebody holding the purse strings. I mean,
Right.
Literally, look at him holding like a puppeteer, and this person is just clutching the purse. Something around money.
Yeah, there could be some kind of financial incentive for Estonia once he goes in there. And I'm interested in hearing everybody's thoughts on this, but it looks like they are really pulling down the NHS, National Healthcare System for UK. And people can't get their doctor's appointments like within 6 months, or it takes a long time. There's a big lag. We could definitely see that transformation of some sort that was happening this past week. So I hope that's good news. So there we go. That was last week's chart. And so that was the modernizing there, that big blue grand trine. We were like, it's going to be successful. There was something also with homes too. And I didn't get the news yet, but something with homes, homeless. So could have been something that had to do with the homeless. This is March 16th, the chart. And for those of you who don't know anything about our show, we look at the chart, the event chart for the UK, for London, at midnight, basically, for the week, and just see what we can see if we can see some clues. Wow, it looks eventful. All right, so we're in the last couple of degrees of Scorpio. Good Lord, we've seen a lot of Scorpio. We've seen revenge, betrayal. We've seen. I just saw some kind of crazy pictures in Daily Mail about prostitutes.
That big oversized Kim Kardashian body.
Yep. That is as Scorpio as you could get. And then also Gene Hackman, the story just came out. There's a lot of stuff about his will now. Did you see that? Yeah.
I did.
So we're in the last couple of degrees. I'm going to be happy to see it go because I really like Sagittarius. When you've got Pluto in a tough square, especially with Black Moon Lilith, this is a lot of deviousness, a lot of temptation. We'll be happy when we don't have that anymore. So now we're coming in, but let's not focus on Sagittarius just yet. I'm still going to focus on Scorpio, but you couldn't help but look at that big red line. Like, it's much, much worse now. This is the nodes. This is basically the eclipse. And I'm afraid to say, I'm sorry because I love Russian people, but I think this has something to do with Russia, and it's not good news. And this is the eclipse. This is hard eclipse with Russia.
Queen of Swords, Six of Wands. Oh, I knew this card would come out. I knew it. This Magician card. This is like, this energy is someone showing off and hurting themselves or taking a fall because they had a big ego. They do something that they feel is showboating and it's to their detriment. There's a manipulation factor. There could be a woman involved, certainly with Queen of Swords, this Aquarius, Gemini sort of energy. There's a lot of Gemini and Virgo, Mercury. So I see somebody doing something that is bravado, and it's as a mundane example, you get up on stage to show off and you fall off and break your ankle. Like, you're doing something egomaniac like, and it's to your detriment.
So this is the work of an egomaniac.
Yeah, or it's like trying to poison the well and you accidentally drink it yourself. Someone doing something terrible and they end up the one.
It sounds like a Grimm's fairy tale. There are other things that are going on. The blue line, so it's kind of like there are detours that the people are taking, which could be kind of like people scatter. And they go to a safe place. Not all of them do, though. Not all of them do. And also, as a reminder, all of this is oil. So this could be some kind of an omen when it comes to the oil tankers. Like, we're going to see some oil here. The poor ocean, a lot of spies. And then, of course, we're going to get insurance, not related to necessarily Russia, but that kind of insurance doctors. Ooh, okay. I got to ask you this. It's a little off topic, but this is the despair of the doctors. Holy God. What do you see?
That's interesting. The Queen of Swords can represent physicians too. So that's interesting. King of Pentacles and the Sun. This is actually quite positive. This could be someone who, it's like embezzlement, money, taking the money for themselves. Embezzlement. I don't know why that comes out. Yes. With the Seven of Swords. Stealing money. Who's doctor stealing money? It's a thief.
The thief. Yeah. And there's North Node there. So there are a lot of lies. And that's so interesting that the national healthcare system in England is being taken apart because maybe people are trying to scatter and get out of what they were doing and at the expense of people who were just trying to get healthcare.
Yeah.
So this could be a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing for Keir Starmer. Yep, there they all are. That's a ton of people. It's a ton of scams. There's a lot of scams here. This is, I had that show the other day on the Great Storms. There could also be another show called The Great Scams. And there are people in there, looks like twin women. You know, we keep seeing twins and also money. So maybe groups of funding or something. There's something going to be maybe that comes out this week.
Yeah, I have the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles from my original spread, which is twins. And this is like an alliance, a group of people, like you just said, working together around money.
Okay. All right. All right. So now this is what is basically the subject of the show, Papa's Big Day. Now, there's a couple of big days coming up. And we saw this in past shows, but now the time has come. And we're talking about right here. And this is Chiron coming in. And let me see if I have this right. If you're interested, now I'm looking at Prince George's solar return. So you can pull your birth chart in AstroSeek, then go to the solar return link, and it's going to be the link of when you had your last birthday, and make sure to get the place that you had your birthday as well. And so if you haven't had your birthday yet, you're still going to be clicking on 2024. And so then you're going to hit the solar only button. It's the tab there, not the solar and birth. And so this is Prince George's. Now his chart starts on his birthday, as yours would too. And it's July 22nd. So we're here, March 22nd. We've got 8 days to go. And now it's going to be in the 9th house for him. Now, for a child, a ninth house would be a school. But it's also international things. And we want to see what's going on with Papa. And there is Dad, and he is Scorpio. Scorpio is the 4th house of his chart, his solar return chart this year. And we would also look at Saturn too, which always represents the father. So he's got a couple of things coming, or that came in for Dad. I think there's going to be some issues because you've got the king, and the king needs to be traveling, but he really can't. He really needs to send his son. So there's a lot of going back and forth on who is going to do what potentially. But once March 22nd comes up, there's that red line. And then it's going to slowly inch towards Chiron. It is making this T-square. So you want to keep an eye out for the T-squares. It's going to be some kind of issue here. But what I don't like is it's aimed right at the planet that represents Prince William. And it's in Aquarius. So this could mean it could mean a hack of some sort.
Yeah.
It could mean Dad is around a lot of people who are wounded.
Right.
But can you tell us a little bit more about what we're going to see in maybe the next 10 to 15 days when it comes to that T-square.
William. 10 of Swords. This is information. Swords are information, thoughts, thinking, writing, documents, all of those types of things. But something is closing, done. Oh, and the Hermit. You know, that's like breaking out of isolation, coming out and being out there. It's the opposite of the Hermit, that 10 of Swords. Coming out with more information. But this Page of Pentacles in reverse is a child. Maybe it's coming out with information about his schooling.
Yes.
Like a change,
possibly.
some kind of change.
Okay. Chiron squaring Pluto is a lot of wounds. This is like a war. In Aries, this is a war. And so there could be some type of aftermath here at the end of March. Now, this could be dad talking in public about maybe his childhood. Could simply be something like that. But it definitely I think it looks war related. And there could be some issues. But once we, let me see here. Once we start getting into, so this would be March, then let me see. Venus is going to take over. So it's not going to be, so, oh, this is the other thing. Mars is in a square with Mercury. And you just, was that the page? That's the page right there.
Yeah.
There is an upset of, it looks like a foreign child or something, but I honestly think this is a bomb. I think this is a bomb. And I think that Prince William, this is the 10th house, is a father.
Could it be on a boat?
Could it be on a boat? Yes. Because look at this. Trine to Neptune.
I have the Six of Swords in reverse. This capsized boat. Yeah.
So dad needs to stay away from the boats.
And the Nine of Wands, which you said lots of wounds, that's the Wounded Warrior card.
Okay.
So it's a lot of wounds.
Okay. So maybe he is maybe Prince William's just in the news. He's in international news and he is talking about a lot of people with wounds. But I would say I wouldn't want him to go to Tallinn. Do you think that Prince William should go to Tallinn to visit?
The Page of Pentacles in the upright. You know, it's like a launching point, but then the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is like Catherine says, no, you will not. Okay. It's like he's told no.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Okay.
But maybe she says no.
Yeah, it's a pretty big shock. And I do see some hiding coming in too. When you see, and you can, let me see here. Okay, let me clean this up for a second. When you see, so you've got March, this is April 22nd. This is going to be May. Mercury starts to activate. This is in May, there is a group or a child that's in hiding. This could also be someone that could be a foreign person that wants to do harm, but that's coming up probably in May. What is this square to Mercury other than what you've already seen?
I want to share that other oracle card, the Star card. Oh, I knew it. The Eight of Swords. This is the other oracle card. When you said a child in hiding, can you see this figure sort of hiding underneath and inside? I had a lot of imagery around the birds and cups and sort of things flying through the sky. It made me think of raining cats and dogs kind of thing. But this is the kidnapped card too, that Eight of Swords.
Yeah. There is some serious threat here.
Yeah, and it's like the Star card is someone well known, someone famous.
Okay. Oh God. Okay. And they might have now Leo is a family, so it could be the family. Leo can be a place that's very sunny, could be somebody on vacation. Mm, yeah. So that's what I'm seeing there. We need to get past we need to get past this. Well, actually, it'd be nice if we could get past the next 3 houses, because we got this guy here. You can't see him. You can't see who this is. This, I mean, whenever you have Mars and Uranus, this is some kind of a strike of some sort. And so you just have to be very, very careful. And it definitely upsets Prince George because he is Mercury this year, and it's dangerous. So, and then just as a reminder from what we were talking about last time, is that this is King Charles's progressed transit chart, and that square coming in. So he wants to do all of this stuff, but he can't because he's got that Uranus Neptune thing going on. And funny how in his chart, Mercury is conjunct Neptune, which means two Putin. So him and his twin. Oh my God. So, but it seems as if there's going to be an escalation of some sort. Can you tell me a little bit about Europe right now? Is Europe going to be strong if a war is imminent?
Yes. Yes. Queen of Wands. That's a lot of good power, and it's a yes card, indeed. It's like, this is the card of fight fire with fire. This is a lot of fire energy with the Queen of Wands. Clarify it. 6 of Cups and Ace of Cups. Wow. With the Death card underneath everything. This is women and children. This feels like women and children. But it's a powerful position to be in.
Okay. Well, then that says it. So that's good. I always like to leave on a nice note. And I think that's pretty much all I had. Just, a lot of stuff about war, a lot of change for the royal family. But, with the eclipse, can you give us like one more thing? Could you give us a card for what to expect from this blood moon eclipse, total eclipse?
Ooh. King of Swords in the upright.
Oh, good.
This is intelligence and, very smart, and thoughts and information and technology. It's really positive.
Okay.
So
Good.
Even though it's Mercury retrograde.
And Uranus. Oh, so interesting.
Wisdom.
What's that?
Wisdom.
Oh, and I forgot to put this in today. There was a symbolic gesture of the sword the other day with King Charles giving a sword. It was a big ceremonial thing to a Canadian representative. I can't remember his name, but it was supposed to be, they're very big on symbols, wearing the colors, wearing the pins, wearing the ties.
Wow.
So he gives this symbol. But what caught my eye here was the fact that symbol of the sword used to be given when there was a change of the guard for a king. So I don't know if we want to give that to Canada, but apparently they don't think of it that way anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, Jan, how are you? I haven't been looking at the chats, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, Darlene, you think fraudulent medical charges.
Could be.
Sam, you said losing in NHS isn't good for a lot of people. And Darlene, tons of water. Yes.
I see a lot of snow and mountains. I said Alaska, but now I'm like Canada. Yes. A lot of imagery around very cold, icy, mountainous.
Yes. overseas child, Jan says.
Hmm.
Jan's like, what will Europe fight with? They've given all weapons to Ukraine. Well, we know where Jan stands. Jen, you said, Val, you said, if European royal would leave the planet, Prince of Luxembourg passes this week. I know that's such a shame. I wanted to ask you, we have a little bit of time, and I forgot to tell you to bring it, but what? Oh, you have it. You have it?
I
Yes.
did. Yes.
Tell us what that is next to you.
It's one of many fun trinkets I have stowed away. This is a commemorative cup from Charles and Diana's wedding. Engraved, it says, "The marriage of the Prince of Wales and Lady Diana Spencer, Wednesday, 29th July, 1981." And it has the engraving on the back. Just something I've held on to for, I'm not going to count the years. So
Oh my
my
God.
little treasure
I
from the
couldn't
wedding.
believe it. Yeah, and so now I get to see how big it is, because when I saw the picture, I wasn't sure. So, oh,
It's
it's
a good
nice.
size. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good size. Compared to my teacup, it's
Yeah.
it's a good size. I think
That's
it's meant to
amazing.
have beer in it, maybe.
And did you know you had it somewhere, or was it a complete surprise when you found it?
I think I had seen it before, but I don't think I knew I had it in some of my keepsake boxes till I came across it, I don't know, 3-4 days ago.
And
Yeah.
you were living there and as a kid,
Yeah.
so you were seeing all the crowds, you were seeing all of the chaos. Any kind
Yeah.
of thing that you remember?
The only thing I remember is how crowded I felt. I was 5, so I was young. I don't have, memories other than being very crowded and exciting. And I think I had a
Princess.
flag. I think I was holding a flag. Yeah.
Did you have,
I
like, a princess outfit on?
yeah, I probably had something very 70s looking on. My mom was a bit of a hippie, so who knows? I probably had plaid bell bottoms on. I don't know.
Exactly, that's true. Well, when it yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
pretty much we were still in hippie time,
Yeah.
just on the cusp there, so yes,
Yeah.
Miss Diana.
Yeah. If we took photos, I've never seen them. So
Oh my
I'd
god.
have to find if I have photos of that day.
Wow, so fun,
Could
so
be in
fun.
another box. We'll
Yes.
see. Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, this was an interesting one. We'll have to see how it plays out, and, we'll hopefully see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks.